Hi, this is Derek Murphy of creativity.com. I'm just trying to set up a new little home studio. It's not going so well, but I'm going to try to make a couple of videos. So some things you'll notice for this temporary setup. I have a painting in the back of me that I did back when I was doing fine art. I got this inspirational poster here that says, always fall asleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose, but I didn't realize I'm using a new iPhone 7 because the front-facing camera is a lot better quality, and so when I make videos of myself, it's a little hard for me to keep talking if I can't see that it's working and make sure that it's recording. Otherwise, I'll get a little distracted. So this way, I can see that it's recording, but because it's a front-facing camera, the image is reversed, which means you can't actually read my motivational poster up there. So I may need to replace it with something else. I also have an antique typewriter back here and some books. Mostly on this channel, I talk about books and publishing and book marketing. At least that's something I've been focused on the last few years. I will start to shift into more things like online business and especially creativity, being more productive, being more creative, creating more great work, having more time and flexibility and freedom, and also, of course, making money with your art, because that's a huge part, whether you're a writer or an artist. That's a huge part of what I do, is just help creative people to actually not just chase the passion and be frustrated starving artists because nobody will buy what they're working on. I don't think, I'm an introvert. I hate convincing people that my ideas matter or trying to get people to buy something. That's definitely a weak point for me. So instead, I focus on producing lots and lots of great work and getting lots of visibility with kind of easy guerrilla marketing tactics. So the book that I just put out last week was called Guerrilla Publishing, and it's all about how I'm publishing things quickly, building a big author platform quickly, and not marketing. I don't like the word book marketing because that means you're going out and you're promoting. I have to figure out where I'm actually looking at the camera on this phone. I haven't figured it out yet. Marketing means you're going out and you're telling people about your book, and that's not something I like to do. I like to attract with good content, so I'll set up some giveaways. I'll get people to sign up to my list, offer them a free copy, and they'll review it. And then mostly I focus on getting my books to stick really high on Amazon. So I have books that are in the 2,000 range, which means they sell, I want to say like 30 copies a day or something, which isn't huge, but it's a step up from the majority of indie authors who aren't making a lot of money. There's definitely a huge split. Somebody said recently in my Facebook group, everybody knows that once you have 3 books in a series, they're making about $1,500 each per book. And I said that's actually misleading, because to do that, you need to be about in the top 2,000 on Amazon, and only about 2,000 authors can actually be there at the same time, which means most people, I'd say, because there are like 5 million books on Amazon now, I believe. So out of that 5 million, 2,000 of them are doing okay and actually making a living. It's not that easy to get your book to be selling and to stay selling without tons of marketing and promotion, which is what most authors focus on. They focus on marketing and promotion. That's something I try to teach them not to do, because there are better ways to use your time and your money than to be promoting your book. You can set your book up or your author platform up so that it attracts leads to you. Your readers find your work easily on Amazon or on your website through Google search or whatever, and then eventually buy it. So you should read Book Marketing is Dead, which is my first book, which talks more about building relationships with authors and not being spammy and going on Twitter and saying my book is free or 99 cents or whatever. There's a place for that. If you're doing a big launch or promotion and you need some more visibility, I'm not saying don't do it. It can help a little bit. The problem is, after you've done that, then what? Because if you didn't do anything sustainable or long term and you've done all that promotion, it's okay to do once, like when you launch a book. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have to keep doing that every week or every few days. You're going to go into those Facebook groups or on Twitter and spam your book to try to keep sales up. And that's not something you want to keep doing, because it'll kind of bring down your reputation as an author. I like the things that I'm doing. They work really well for me. A lot of authors are still skeptical about the things that I'm doing, which is kind of weird. I'm almost done writing an article, which is not all book promotion is spam, because the things I do a lot of keyword research. So I'll do keyword research to know what people are actually searching for that's related to my book. So maybe they're not looking for vampires, but they're looking for angels, and I have both in my book. Maybe actually this isn't true. Vampires gets about 10 times as many searches as angels, but um, knowing what people are actually searching for lets you change the way that you position and describe your book so that it can be found. I'll mention two things quickly. So I was writing this article because somebody wrote back. I put out an offer recently. Basically, I do keyword research and then I'll buy some high authority domain websites so that I can link those keywords to my book on Amazon so that when people search for those keywords, my Amazon book shows up in search results. That's something that's actually pretty easy. And few authors are doing it, which means it's really easy for me to get ahead. I share these tactics and I tell everyone about it, but most people don't actually do it, or they don't know how to do it, or even if they understand it in principle, they don't actually have high domain websites. Because like I just spent like $3,000 on a couple domains. One was 1,200 and one's going to be more expensive. Most people don't do that. I do it because I think it's going to give me a little bit of a boost in search results. And if I can get my book to show up in search results, I don't have to do any marketing, which saves me tons of effort in the future. So I'm building kind of a funnel and a platform that's going to work really well for me. But I put in an offer because I wanted to raise a little bit of money for these websites. So I put it on an offer, said if you want to, you can pitch in, help me buy these websites, and I'll feature your book on my websites, my new websites, and I'll do the things that I typically do to promote my own books. And I said it's not a huge thing. You're not gonna see immediate results. It's not gonna be the thing that makes it an amazing difference, but it's something that works that few authors are doing. So if you're in a competitive field and you're looking for a little bit more visibility, it'll probably work for you. And I got a lot of takers. I raised about $5,000 or $6,000 in 48 hours, which sounds amazing, except almost all of it will go to these websites. So I'm not really making money from it, and I have to do all the work of, now I have like 100 authors I need to promote. That's something I typically don't do because it takes a lot of time and effort and work. And generally, low cost book marketing, promotional things like that don't work. Like if someone else asked me, hey, I'll feature you on my website for $50, I would say no, that's ridiculous, because most of the time when people are considering websites, all they're going to be talking about is whether the site gets traffic. So they're going to just talk about whether the site that you're being featured on is getting traffic that's the right kind of readers who might be interested in your book. And most of those featured website promotions are short term. So it might be like a week or two featured on the website, but then it's gone. So that money is really like it's spent and it's gone. Whereas in my case, I'll be building permanent backlinks it's not about the content that I'm setting up, because that may not be seen by actual readers, but I'll be using that content to boost your real website or your book or whatever to make it stay up higher. It's a little bit tricky. I understand why some people are confused. However, and most people were excited about, they got it, or they at least they trusted that I know what I was doing enough to do it for them. But a few people, not many, a couple, said something like, you're just trying to make money from us. You're just, taking advantage of indie authors. And that's something that worries me, because I spend a lot of time and effort trying to help indie authors. I don't have time to actually do book marketing for you. It's not worth my time because I make a lot more money in other ways. I'd rather be writing my own books. However, I do really care about my reputation. I don't want to get the reputation of someone who's taking indie authors' money to do crappy book promotion that doesn't work. So I'm sensitive to that issue, definitely. But the interesting thing was that indie authors will assume anybody who's trying to sell them something or trying to do their book marketing for them is a scammer or is just out to steal their money. But they'll spend lots and lots of money trying to promote their book on things that don't work and ignore the things or the opportunities that do work. And I'm not saying you should take big risks, because of course you shouldn't. You should understand what you're getting into. And not everybody's reputable. There's a lot of book marketing opportunities that really don't work, especially in the indie author arena, where there's a lot of very enthusiastic, very passionate people running small businesses who know about self-publishing and have a community of indie authors, but aren't actually that good at online business or web design, which is a huge important thing, or getting traffic. So you see a lot of indie authors who aren't making a lot of money with their books know enough about the online space to try to put together an offer to sell to other indie authors and make a little bit of of side income from a project, some of those aren't really that valuable because they don't really know how to get bigger results. And a lot of indie authors aren't doing things right anyway. So when you give people your money to do those things, I think it's generally, they're playing on a smaller level. Whereas I tend to look at the max return for your time and effort. I'm a little lazy. I don't like spending time working or marketing my books. I don't really market my books at all, and they do pretty well. The other thing I was going to mention, that's similar, in one of my other Facebook groups, somebody mentioned recently, they said, I don't want to do any marketing. I want to be writing. This is very common for authors. They say, I don't want to do any marketing at all. I don't want to learn about it. I'm not interested. That's not my skill, or that's not my my talent. They say I'm not talented at it. So they just want to pay someone. And the problem is, firstly, if you pay someone, you're always going to have to keep paying someone else because you'll never learn how to do it yourself. Secondly, it's not actually that hard to do the things that you need to do. And if you think book marketing is something you need to be constantly going out there and putting your book in front of people, that's wrong anyway. So if you think that, of course you're frustrated and you don't want to do it, but that's not what you should be doing. Anyway, there are other things that work better. If you set up everything right, it might take a week to set up an author platform and then a couple days to launch a new book. So like I launched a book last week, and part of this is I have a big list because I've built a big list, and that's something I've really focused on. But if you have a big list, you don't really have to work that hard to market your book as long as you're doing some other things. So I just uploaded a new novel. I finished it like last night, sleep deprived, uploaded it 4 hours before the pre-order deadline. I'm not at all worried about marketing the book because I also soft launch. So I'll let, once I relax a little bit because I'm kind of tired, I have 3 days to put up a landing page, finish an epilogue, put up a giveaway that I'll launch like right before the book goes live in 3 or 4 days. But these are all things that'll take me like an hour. So I might work an hour a day on my book launch for the next 3 or 4 days. And then I'll basically be done. I'll use a little bit of advertising for the paid book. I'll go through cycles. So like my book will be launched at $3.99 and then I'll do a free campaign. I'll do a 99-cent campaign with a lot of advertising. Later I might try to get a BookBub. But that stuff, like when I launch a book, I really just put it out there for my readers to get reviews, and I won't actually really push it or tell anyone about it besides my fans for a few weeks once it has actually some reviews and it's I know that the right version is up, because often when you finish a book and put it out there, you'll think it's perfect, but there's always mistakes or things that you didn't catch or that you want to fix later. So I want to give myself space and time to make sure it's as good as it can be before I actually really go big and market it. On the other hand, if it's doing okay, like one of my books is, like I said, in the top 2,000, I'm not doing any promotion or advertising for it. It could be doing better if I was pushing it, but it's doing fine. I'd rather be writing. I don't need to make a ton of income with it. It's nice to be making money from it. I think I just passed at least 1,000 a month, I think, from this one book, which is amazing. I've been basically shooting for, if I can make $100 a month per book, that's enough if I don't have to work at it, because then once I publish 20 or 30 books, which I plan to do, I'll have a stable income. It won't be a lot, but it'll be, good money that I can. My goal is to write full time, which means I need a stable income of a few $1,000s a month, ideally $5,000 a month, which I hope to get to this year, just in book sales, so that I can focus on my writing. You'll notice my voice is going because I don't actually talk, even though I can talk a lot. I'm an introvert. I don't talk very much. So I'm going to stop this video because my voice is going. And I'll try to explain in the commentary or in the section what this video is actually about, because I've been rambling a little bit. Thanks. Bye-bye.